Do you want to maybe sit down on this one?
You're good.
This is
What name?
Festa. You know, yesterday we were in the Galilee to see Bethsaida, where Peter, Philip, and Andrew were from. You know, Bethsaida means the house of fishing. This means the house of mercy. We will settle. And you know, we just been on the Temple Mount, and the animals. This is important for understanding the story. The animals came in through the northern side. The priests would come in through the western side. But the people would come in through. We're going to go to the southern side, the southern gates. My archaeologist friend took Neil Armstrong up there, and you know, through the southern side. And Neil Armstrong said to him, "It's more exciting to me than walking on the moon, standing where Jesus stood," because it's the only way he could have entered into the temple for the southern side. No one came through the eastern side. No one came through the eastern gate. You know, there's lots of myths about the eastern gate. The eastern gate was solely for, you know, the eastern side. There were gates, but not where that gate was. There were gates near there that were for the red heifer and were for the scapegoat, not for the people. The people didn't come in through the eastern side. The people came out through the southern side. So the animals on this side. So if you're making pilgrimage to Jerusalem, 3 times every year, every male has to present himself to God in Jerusalem. That's if you're in the Galilee or if you're down south. And if you had someone in your family that had a bodily defect, you couldn't take them to the temple. You would leave them here where the animals were. And also there was lots of cult worship going on here with other gods, as we can see over there from Jesus' time period. But more still, this was filled with water, and he was waiting for the stirring of the water, and he had no one to help him. He was here for 38 years. So why was he here? Because his family made pilgrimage to Jerusalem, and they're supposed to leave the unclean here. They might be missing a finger. No one could enter into the presence of God who had a bodily defect of any form, even missing a finger, even, you know, 2 high priests, Iconis and Aristobulus, he bit, they had a fight, and he bit his ear and put his teeth through his ear, and that disqualified his brother from being high priest. You know, just by having a bite in his ear. You couldn't pierce your ear and be a high priest. You couldn't pierce yourself and come into the presence of God. And anyway, you know, I'm not against, you know, earrings or anything like that. So that, you know, we're in the age of grace still. Won't be long. Gotta get you. No, I'm only joking. But anyway, so anyone with a bodily defect of any kind were here with the animals. So, you know, it's Jesus coming here was very surprising, you know, with his disciples. He was searching this man out. And it parallels with the man that was the blind man that was healed. Okay, by 2 water sources. Because when we go in the city of David tomorrow, I think I'm taking you tomorrow to the city of David, which is good, which is my favourite to guide. So if I can guide well anywhere, that's there. So by God's grace, we're doing okay. But anyway, so it was. Let's go back to David. When the Jebusites were surrounding Jerusalem, what did they say to David? Even the blind and the lame could defend the city. And what did David say? He cursed the blind and the lame and said, "They will not come into my house," and his soul hated them. Okay, he cursed the blind and the lame. Now, Jesus healed all types of miracles in the Galilee, all types of infirmities. But there's only 2 specific miracles mentioned in Jerusalem, the blind and the lame. Because the writers of the New Testament are emphasizing the fact that Jesus reversed David's curse. Okay? Even he healed the lame here and the blind tomorrow at Siloam. Both of them he healed by water sources on each side of the city. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. Even when he drove, you read it, even when he drove out the money changers, he healed the blind and the lame. When they talk about his miracle sessions in the Galilee, all types of infirmities, the woman with issue of blood and everything like that. Okay? Can I? The woman with issue of blood is amazing, because she touches the edge of Jesus' garment, and up to that time, no one who touched Jesus was healed. Jesus didn't say, okay, I can lay hands and heal you, but it's a lot quicker if you touch me. He didn't say that. And next time he came back to the very same place where Jesus healed the woman with the issue of blood, they all gathered around him to touch him. She started off a new movement. And she didn't need a prune. You see, so we can trigger off, God's healing power, by different ways. Yes, by hankies touching us, by touching. But at that stage, people didn't touch Jesus in order to be healed. But after that, they did. But here's this man that Jesus came, and so Jesus reversed the curse, the blind and the lame in Jerusalem. Okay? Now, he set both of these men up for a trial. He tested them, saying, take your mat and walk, it's a Sabbath day. If I told you to go to the Western Wall with bare shoulders, or take photos on the Shabbat, you get arrested, or they come and tell you, it was obvious that this guy is going to get pulled up, taking a temple, carrying his mat on the Shabbat. It was obvious with the man with the eyes. It was a Shabbat, and he told him to wash off his eyes in the pool of Siloam. And the pool of Siloam was a pool for mikvahs, and he's dirtying all their pool for all the people making themselves pure by putting mud in the pool, washing it off his eyes.
Yes.
You didn't think of that, did you? Yeah. So, so he's upsetting people. He's upsetting people to get them upset with the Pharisees to see how they're going to react. And this man, but John contrasts both of them intentionally, because this man, the Pharisees catch him and said, who told you to pick up this mat? And he says, when Jesus, he says, I don't know, you can't carry a mat on the Sabbath, because they wanted to get someone into trouble, And so Jesus came up and said, and Jesus done a follow-up call on both of them. He doesn't usually do follow-up calls on people that he heals. Just check out how they're getting on. So he done a follow-up call, and he says, he says, me that healed you, now you're healed, don't sin anymore. So what do you mean, don't sin anymore? He doesn't say to everyone, don't sin anymore. This guy obviously irritated his family to be left there for 38 years. You're not left here and forgotten for 38 years for nothing. And so I can understand why, because as soon as he knew who healed him, he went to the Pharisees and told on Jesus, so he'll get the blame, because he didn't want to get kicked out of the synagogue. Okay? And the other half of the story we'll do tomorrow. Okay?